And now we move on to our second review for Parasite, directed by...
Bong Joon-Ho.
That's the guy's name, yes. Directed Okja and Snowpiercer.
Amongst other Korean movies.
Right. So this is the movie that won the Palme d'Or.
It beat Wild Goose Lake and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and a bunch of others, yes.
Yes, at Cannes.
Yes, at the Cannes.
Yeah, at the Cannes Film Festivals. So this was obviously a hotly anticipated movie for a lot of people.
Us as well. I mean, the trailer looked really, really solid.
Yeah, so the trailer looked really good, and guess what? It was really good.
Yeah, this movie is pretty fucking goddamn good.
I was going to say it's more than pretty good.
Yeah.
It's actually, I would even go as far as say it's excellent.
It's pretty goddamn amazing, and it's one of the few movies, goddamn it, Q4 2019, picking up the slack.
Oh my god, I was thinking the same thing. There's been so many shitty movies for the first 3 quarters, and man, has the fourth quarter saved this year, and this is one of them. And I gotta say right off the bat, I'm really happy this is getting as wide of a release as it is.
Yeah.
Being that it's a foreign movie.
Good on Neon.
Yeah, definitely. So...
Where do we begin?
All right. Well, let's just start off with one thing that really works. The themes are very strong in this movie.
And they're varied. Like, this isn't just a movie about class. It's a movie about... It's about human nature. It's about technology.
Right.
It's about so many things. Materialism.
I would say poverty versus wealth, struggling to find work, the consequences of one's actions.
Oh, man.
Selfishness versus altruism, loyalty to family. That's another big one. So
what it means to belong.
Right. And as I've stated in other reviews, it also goes with another ongoing theme of this year. Unfortunately, all the movies, there's no time for happy movies being good this year.
No.
Nope.
Like last year, my favorite movies were like fucking Mission Impossible, Fallout, Spider-Man, like Mr. Rogers. This year, it's like just Joker and this, and it's doom and gloom, man.
Shitty people as main characters.
Yes.
But this kind of plays with that. It's like, how shitty are they? And how some of the main characters shittier than others?
How shitty are they in comparison to other characters on the other side of things?
So let's just get with the plot real quick. Mm-hmm. So the plot is about this poorer family living in the slums of South Korea, and one of them gets a job because of his friend to work with this rich family on the other side of town, I guess. Mm-hmm. But then what happens is he and the other family members also get jobs at this place, and they learn some secrets, and
they infest this house.
Yeah.
And no spoilers.
Oh, God, it's hard to talk about. Okay, so it's about this family that works for this rich family, and secrets are uncovered.
Shit goes down.
Yeah, and they learn secrets about the family, or about the rich family, and the rich family learns secrets about them. It's an interesting. It's weird. I compared this almost to like an episode of Faulty Towers or something.
At times, yeah.
Yeah, it's like very farcical.
At times, yeah.
Yes, at times.
Well, see, that's the thing I was going to say about
this. It's
this.
very hard to talk about this without spoiling.
Well, the thing I love about this movie is that, and this was something everybody was saying and has said about other Bong Joon-Ho films, which after seeing this fucking thing, I'm going to have to do my research on, because god damn it, this movie's good and I want to see more of this dude's shit.
Same.
A lot of people I've been hearing say, like, yeah, it's a good movie, and like you can't really they said you can't really pin it down to one genre. And I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure what that means. After seeing it, you're like, yeah, no, I get that. Because this is, throughout the, and it's 2 hours and like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It is a comedy, thriller, horror. Like, there's some horror shit in here.
It's a lot of things.
It's a drama. Like, there's so much. And like, and I can understand people saying, how the fuck can it pull that off? I don't know. It fucking
does.
did. It did it.
You want to know why? Because its pacing is good. Number one, that's one of the reasons. Number two, it takes its time setting up each one of those elements. At first, it starts off as a comedy. But then when secrets are uncovered, it becomes a little more serious.
Right.
And then, again, I would say the biggest part of that is the consequences of actions. You think, oh, that's so silly. But I would say the question that you're waiting for, as soon as the whole family is working for you, you think, how is this going to blow up in their faces later?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like by the time that exactly like there's almost a pattern that's set up. It almost feels like an Aesop fable where it's like,
yes,
and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and like the movie kind of finishes that off, and there's still like an hour and 15 minutes left, and you're like, well, what now? And then there is a what now, and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck now? Here we go. Here's this whole part of the movie, and that's really, it's not even a criticism. It's like the movie starts off, and it is very light in tone, and it's very comedic, and there's a middle portion where we kind of settle in, and the movie kind of, it doesn't grind to a halt, but it slows down, and it kind of eases you into the second part of the movie, which is a lot more, I don't even know how to describe it. It's the more darker part of the movie.
However, to bring back something you kind of just said, they ease you into it because they kind of hint at it. Because even at the very beginning, there's this one particular part with the sister.
Yeah.
When you kind of get her MO and what kind of character she is, you think, okay, this is funny still, but this took a dark turn. And each step gets a little darker, and there's a new element. It gets a little darker, and there's a new, I guess, there's something.
New fold, new wrinkle.
Yes, there's a new wrinkle, and then it's just, the rabbit hole goes deeper.
And what I love is that there's so much in this where this movie begs for repeat viewing. Yeah. Like, there's so much in this, you're like, oh shit, so that's what that was. Like, stuff involving, like, stuff you probably didn't even notice, like, stuff going on with, this isn't really a spoiler if you haven't seen the movie, but like stuff going on with like lighting fixtures in the house.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, so that's what that was. Or like stuff going on with like...
It's like a mystery almost.
Yeah, like little offhanded remarks about like how certain character appears or how they smell or how they look. And you're like, oh man, so that's what that was. And like this is, again, the best movies that I've seen this year are movies that have stuck with me in the weeks that have followed. Only like 3 have done it. Yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Joker, and now this.
I'm pretty much exactly there with you. Well, there's a couple more that I don't think you saw, but I would say the same thing for those 3, and I think part of that is the script to this is incredibly clever. I would say, without a doubt, so far, I would say this is the best script.
I would agree with you. It's the voice is so specific.
Yes. But it's also the way that there's nothing dropped on you that just feels like bullshit. If there's any quote unquote I don't even call them twists. They kind of give you a little reference to what things are without telling you. And then when you find out, you think it's those aha moments.
It's very weird because at times, like I want to say the most of this movie feels unpredictable. Now that's except with the exception of like maybe the first act. You kind of fall into a pattern, but it's not like predictable. You're like, oh, I see where they're going with this. But then the movie shifts gears, and you're like, I have no idea what's going to happen. And it doesn't feel wacky. It doesn't feel like this is just all over the place in terms of plotting. It's like, no, this feels logical. It's just I can't for the life of me say I've seen anything like this before.
Right.
So it pans out in a way that's just fucking unbelievably fresh. And I love that. I love that I've seen a movie this year that's like, wow, I don't know what the fuck's going on and like what's going to happen.
You have no idea where it's going.
Yeah, I'm kind of freaked out in a good way.
And the major developments that occur, they just make everything more interesting.
Right.
Which is, I mean, that sounds so obvious, but you know what? I can't say the same for a lot of movies that have come out this year.
Mm-hmm. It's a different breed.
Right. This is in the top league. Mm-hmm. I guess if we're going to talk technical standpoints, now we know the story was amazing. Cinematography is so on point.
Oh man, and I think you remember when I said in the trailer review / discussion where I was like, I like how the trailer, like the shots in the trailer get better. Yeah. I felt the same way about the movie. Like we start out in the slums and it's like kind of like monotone and like just like very like grays and like light light, like white colors, and then we get into the house and like everything gets warm, like the rich family's house, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And then without spoiling anything, stuff happens in the latter half of the movie where you're like, they start throwing like set pieces on you, like without spoiling anything. Again, there's like elements, like they start throwing like, how the hell did they shoot this with this happening with the fucking movie, or with this happening with this scene? It's a really impressive movie. The framing of the shots are all deliberate. There is one shot in this movie that involves a character.
Is it time to move on to spoilers?
Yeah, let's fucking go.
All right, so spoilers. Oh man. Okay, so the way that they all get their jobs,
hilarious.
I love that they're all such liars.
They're very good.
But part of me thinks, why, if you guys have these skills, and I get that they were struggling to find jobs, they got to think that this is going to be a problem when all four of them are going to pretend they don't know each other.
I love that scene when they're like finally in there and they're like all in their own element. It's like they're almost like living in a home and they're playing these characters and they're like kind of ribbing each other.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, as I guess we'll clue the people in. So the kid, there's four characters: the brother, the sister, the mom, and the dad. Mm-hmm. The brother gets a job and he pretends not to know his sister, but says, "Oh, I know this person who'd be a great art teacher." Because the rich family is also, it's kind of like a weird
parallel.
Parallel. Son, daughter, mother, father. So the son is like really rambunctious, and the daughter, she takes it to a whole level she becomes his art tutor. But she says, to get more money, have you noticed this pattern on your son's paintings? It's like, what's that? He always does this thing in the right corner, and that's what we call the schizophrenia thing. Or something.
The schizophrenia zone?
Yeah, the schizophrenia. God. She tortures this poor lady who's trying to do the best she can for her son, and seems like a decent parent.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes. So she's like, we're not only going to have to teach him art, we're going to have to teach him art therapy.
Yep.
And the second I heard that, I said, okay, so that's what's going on. It's not just a con. These people are kind of awful.
And I think by the time you get the dad in there with the driver, you're like, oh my God, the maid is next, and the mom is going to be in there.
Can I tell you how much I love? Let's go through it again. Jessica, only child, Chicago, Illinois.
The mnemonic device?
Yeah.
That, and like, I was dying. Like, I was laughing out loud, the scene with the tuberculosis and the hot sauce on the napkin.
Yeah.
I was fucking dying to the point where, like, the people next to me, like, they weren't, like, disturbed, but, like, I was the only one laughing in my row. Like, me and Abby, but, like, I was fucking laughing, and the guy next to me was, like, stoic. I'm like, this is funny as shit. Like, what the hell, people? Like, I don't know. But it was so clever. Like, I wasn't even laughing because it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was laughing because, wow, this is just really smart. Like, this is very well done.
Well, that's the other thing. And then as if the movie couldn't get any crazier. Like, you're already because that's what's so great. They've already caused tension by being in the house and all four of them being so full of shit. Really taking them, quote unquote, to the cleaners, no pun intended, since the mom is
a maid.
Yeah. But so they get the one maid fired, but she comes back because she forgot something. What's that thing she forgot? Her husband, who's been living in the bunker.
That scene, I was like, holy shit. They're not the first ones that have done they're not the first ones that have infested this house. And I'm like, this movie is fucking brilliant.
And you know what the best part is? That explains the kid where, okay, so Jessica says, has he had any incidents in the past? The mom says, oh my God, yes. It was like a John Edwards show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, dude.
You know what I mean? It's just like she was reaching for something, and then the second the mom said that there was an incident, Jessica's just like, or whatever the hell her real name is, but Jessica just, she's thinking like, score.
That scene where she's talking about the flashback where the kid's eating the cake and he sees the fucking guy standing there, like just the top of his head and eyes, like his eyes are like wide open. Fuck that. Like, that image is burned in my head. I'm like, no thanks. That's fucked up and I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that's a scary thing to look at.
That guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a fucking creep. Great performances all around.
Yeah. Speaking of performances, the little kid.
Yeah.
You want to know something interesting I noticed about him? He seemed to be the most observant.
Yeah.
Like the Mr. Park, the dad. He thought he was onto something, but he couldn't really figure it out. And anything he sort of figured out, it was because of something his son noticed first. Like the son noticed that they all smell the same.
Yep. They're like, how are we going to fucking do this? We got to start doing our laundry in different fucking loads.
Yeah, we've got to start using different soap or whatever.
And then I love that line where it's just like, he's like, isn't it great that we're even having this predicament? Like a couple months ago, we were just worried about getting by. Now we got to worry about like fooling this kid. I'm like, God, this just feels like real people talking about this shitty situation that they fucking put themselves in.
I love how they're having their little high school party.
Yeah.
You know, they're all getting drunk because the Park family is going camping, but it gets rained out. Yeah. Then you just see them doing such a shitty job of cleaning up because they just don't have any time.
Oh man, it is. That whole second half, it almost feels like a true crime story.
Right.
You're
well,
like,
see, that's the thing. I would say you could sum up this movie like this. It's all fun and games until someone gets stabbed at a birthday party.
That scene where he just like stumbles into the birthday party with the knife and like no one even notices and he's just like looking around like deciding where to go. I'm like, this is fucking horrifying. Like, well, it's amazing.
It's horrifying, but it also sums up the themes in the movie. Just feeling ignored, like you don't count.
Yeah.
And the
feeling
whole idea
neglected,
of fitting in.
Turned away from. The reason why Mr. Park kills the dad, or no, Mr. What's his name?
The dad of
the dad kills Mr. Park.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing.
He was turned away from, or someone like him was turned away from.
There's a super important moment that gives you a clue that Mr. Park has that darkness in him when they're drinking, and then he like winds up like he's gonna hit the wife.
Yeah,
and they says, "Oh, I was joking, right?" But you get the feeling, I don't think you were.
That was a little too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that and just the conclusion, it makes you think so much, like how he ends up in the fucking basement and he's doing the lights now. It's like,
yeah,
I was thinking about it on the drive to work the next day. I was like, wait a minute. So he killed the owner of the house and ends up in the basement. Is that what happened to the guy before and the architect that built that house before? Like, what happened to the architect? Because I know, like, the maid said, like, yeah, we used to live here, and the architect left, or the architect is no longer here. It's like, did he get killed? And, like, somehow, like, I don't fucking know. Like, it makes you think, like, how the fuck did the husband, like, end up in that position? And, like, what happened to the owner before them? And it just made me think about the whole movie in a different way. It's cyclical. You know, you're like, wow, this is just like how the movie started in a way.
Yeah.
God damn, it's so good. It's like a bleak ending where he said, you know, we see the kid finds out that his dad is living in the basement again.
And then his sister's been killed.
And he's like, I'm going to fucking buy that house and you're going to be able to just come out whenever you please. You're not going to have to live in there anymore. But it's just like, I'm not there yet. I'm going to have to earn that money, Dad. And it's like, fuck, that's so
And you know the sad thing is you probably won't.
No, it probably won't ever happen.
And then on top of that, I do like the ending. It really makes you realize, even though I said that they're all kind of shitty people, I felt badly, like, for the sister character. I didn't want her to die.
No, I didn't want anybody to get hurt.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing is the movie doesn't have... The ethics aren't that simple. Oh, they tricked this rich family, therefore they deserve to die? No. You felt badly for them, even despite the shit they had done to the Park family. And the other thing is, you know, the Park family is going to end up okay at the end of the day. Yeah.
Or like, oh, wow, the dad doesn't like the smell of poor people, you know, and he deserves to get killed. It's like, no, but this is just...
he didn't deserve to get killed either.
Yeah, you're like, this is just this problem or this thing is symbolic of a greater issue, which is like the disconnect between classes in this society. And it's just really, there's also small stuff like that scene where he's trying to talk to fucking Mr. Park, or Mr. Kim's trying to talk to Mr. Park in the back of the car. And he's just like, eyes on the road.
Yeah.
And it's like just a little subtle dig. Like, remember, dude, you're just the fucking help.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I just want to be your friend, man. Like, I want to be a part of this house. I want to be a part of this family.
Well, and of course, what's his name? Is it what's the son's name? Whatever.
Oh, the son, I think it's Chung Suk Kim.
Whatever. The son of the
tutor son.
Yeah, the shyster family.
Yeah.
So the son, he of course is more than friends with the daughter.
Yeah.
Which I think is so hilarious because his one friend was like, I don't want all those disgusting freaks, ogling her and whatever.
He even says the same exact thing, like, I'm going to ask her out as soon as she goes to college. Yeah. It's like, he just fucking said that. That's great. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant movie. One of the best of the year for sure.
Yeah. Want to move on to scores?
Let's do it.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Perfect score.
Oh, really?
Oh, no?
Well, okay. Look. This might be... I don't hold me to this score. I gave it a 9, but it probably will... I guarantee you it'll bump itself up. Because it is absolutely one of the best movies I've seen this year.
Oh.
And it might be in my revised scores.
It might be in your revived scores, but it's going to take a while to get there.
I'm still thinking about it. I saw this last week.
This movie was amazing.
It's brilliant, and it gets better even the more I think about it. And I assure you it will not rest it enough.
How many movies have you seen like this?
Fucking zero.
And the funny thing is the things I compared it to, it's only partly. Like Faulty Towers, only partly.
Yeah, it's not
Shameless?
Yeah, parts.
Partly. Mm-hmm. This is really...
Talented Mr. Ripley? A little bit, partly.
But this is so its own thing because it took so many worlds and made them collide. And I think that's part of the thing is the families versus, all that selfishness versus altruism. I think that was part of the thing about having these things collide and having a guy in a basement collide with the fact that there's this liar family who's like infested this house. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is sometimes you don't know, like that maid needed that job for more reasons than you thought the original maid.
Mm-hmm. Fuck it. It's a perfect score.
Yeah.
Put it at 15 out of 15.
All right. That's 2 for the year. I cannot believe it. I would not have guessed that. So that'll do it for our review of The Boy Who Smelled People.